What's going on, y'all? This your boy Hustle Man here today with another review. And today I'm gonna do the top 10 nostalgic fragrances for men. Now this is my personal top 10. So I know some of y'all gonna be like, well, why you didn't put this and why you didn't put that? This is my top 10 nostalgic fragrances from the 90s, early 2000s. We starting off with one from the 80s, but I didn't tap in until the 90s, tapped into my pop stash, but we'll get into all that later. So starting the countdown off at number 10, the Jacquard Noir. This one was in my pop stash, and yeah, I went in there and sprayed it on. I probably smelled real old school, but hey, I was using Right Guard, so anything was an elevation from Right Guard. I didn't want the Brute though. Pops used to wear the Old Spice and the Brute. I wasn't gonna rock with that one, but yeah, I snuck a couple squirts of this. So yeah, coming in at number 10, the Jacquard Noir. Coming in at number 9, and see, y'all laugh now, but y'all wasn't laughing back then. Everybody had this baby, Jupe, the Jupe Homme. Everybody had this one, and it was pretty affordable back then too. So yeah, don't laugh. You know you had that in your collection. Coming in at number 8, there's no way you didn't have this. There's no way your little cousin, well, your big cousin, somebody had this in their cabinet. If you didn't have it in your personal collection, you stole it from somebody. Everybody had CK1 at some point. The Calvin Klein, man. It's still fire to this day. A lot of people still wear this. CK1, number 8. Coming in at number 7, the Nautica Voyage. Now I'm gonna tell you about the Nauticas. I was out of high school when this one came out. This is my favorite one. But in high school, you know, it was just a regular Nautica. But later after high school, I tapped into the Nautica Voyage, blew my mind. All of them smell good, but this was next level. And I had a couple Nautica shirts to go with it, so you know. But I couldn't afford that in school. That happened after school. Nautica shirts, the price went down a little bit. This went down a little bit. So I was able to floss a little bit after high school. Yeah, so coming in at number 7, the Nautica Voyage. Coming in at number 6, the Izzy Miyake. Now this, you was the man if you had the Izzy Miyake in the 90s. Old school cat still wearing this. I'm an old school cat at this point, but man, the Izzy Miyake, you told somebody you had Izzy Miyake, they was like, ooh, you got that Izzy, you got that Izzy. Yeah, so this was something to have, definitely. So coming in at number 6, the Izzy Miyake. Coming in at number 5, another high school classic. And if you haven't guessed, I graduated. I can't tell you all that. Now I'll go ahead and tell you, I'm class of 98, baby. So yeah, I was a teenager in the 90s. So I experienced all these fragrances in the 90s. And coming in at number 5, the Hugo Boss. This was another one that was kind of pricey. Not as pricey as stuff is today. Nothing was hardly over $100 back then. But if it was $50 or $60, that was pretty expensive. And this was in that range around that time. The Hugo Boss, man. And it still smells good to this day. If you wear this to this day, there's no need to be ashamed. This smells really good. This was definitely a high school classic. Coming in at number 4, the Ralph Lauren Polo Sport. People who had this, we thought they had a little money. This is one of them ones, if you leave your book bag around, if you bring this to school and you leave your book bag around, it's probably gonna get stolen. This was kind of expensive. It's still not super, super cheap right now. You won't see this in Ross and TJ Maxx and all that. If you do, it's very rare. But yeah, the Polo Sport, this was definitely a head turner. Still a head turner to this day. But if you had this, like the Dope Boys and everything was wearing this, you had to have a little change to have this one. But yeah, I eventually got this one later on. Coming in at number 3, this one had everybody in a chokehold. And I believe this, until Sauvage came out, this was the #1 seller. So coming in at number 3, Giorgio Armani Acqua di Gio. This right here one of the best, freshest fragrances you can buy. I know a ton of people still wearing it to this day. This had me in a chokehold. This is the only one where I ran through a few bottles, because I always kept a lot of bottles, but this one, I probably ran through 10 to 20 bottles of this. No telling how many over the years, and that's hard to do. So that tell you wearing this fragrance often if you run through that many bottles, because there's so many to choose from, but this was always a go-to. So coming in at number 3, Giorgio Armani's Acqua di Gio. Coming in at number 2, this is everybody's favorite boy in the 90s. This had us in the chokehold, maybe the early 2000s too. You was guaranteed to see this on somebody's bathroom counter. It was guaranteed. Curve. I think this is Liz Claiborne. It's a lot of other curves and they smell really good, but this original curve with the green juice, yeah, this one definitely had us in the chokehold in the 90s. And this actually, we rocked with this a long time. Like, I know it's people still wearing this, but this went through the 90s, the early 2000s. And I believe if somebody see this in your bathroom today, they might still steal it. This is definitely nostalgic. So coming in at number 2, you got Curve, man. And coming in at number 1. Now, this is number 1 because this was my first, I don't know if it was a gift. I don't remember how it came in my possession. But in high school, this was my first kind of name brand fragrance and kind of considered high-end. Davidoff Cool Water. You heard Snoop talk about it in one of his songs. You heard it on the Lottie Dottie. Now in the fragrance world, they say it smells like Creed Green Irish Tweed. And I haven't really tested it to compare. Let's try it. I got the Creed up here. Let's see, spray the Creed Green Irish Tweed on the other arm. It is very similar. So I had good taste back then. Can you believe, I bet y'all never noticed that, but I seen that online. I don't know if it was Reddit or one of the fragrance groups or whatever, but they said this smells like this and it's very similar. I mean, it's very similar. But that's not why it's number 1. This definitely had me in a chokehold back in the day. I was wearing this when I first started wearing polos. I had like 3 polo shirts to start the year off. After that, we were back to the no name. But I was feeling myself. This right here smelled good. I can't even remember if I got any compliments wearing this, but I'm sure I did at some point because this was my day-to-day. Once I believe my mom bought it for me. Man, it's been special to me ever since. Coming in at number 1, Cool Water, man. So that's my top 10, man. If I missed out on something, let me know in the comments. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment. Let me know how you feel about this top 10. And if you would have added something, let me know. All right? Holla.